Hi, Shawn.
Hi.
Hi. First question, your dad is from Portugal.
Yeah.
Were there any musical influences at home from that country, or?
Not really. I mean, both my parents don't play or sing, but they were very inspired by music. You know, there's always music playing, Led Zeppelin, like lots of reggae music, Garth Brooks, Rolling Stones. You know, all that music was always lots of country music. Shania Twain was always playing, so I was always surrounded by that type of music.
And do you have a bond with the home country of your dad, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when I go there, it's nice to be Mendes when you go there, and they are all very patriotic, which is beautiful.
Okay. Well, you were born in 1998. What is your first musical memory?
I think I remember Shania Twain being like the first album I bought. Do you know Shania Twain?
Yeah. And what album? What?
I can't remember the album. I don't remember the album. It was the one with the that don't impress me much. You know that one?
And what did you like about it?
I just thought the songs were all catchy. I used to know the lyrics to every song, so they were just very exciting for me to listen to.
And if you listen to the album now, do you still like it?
Yeah, definitely.
And well, what age were you when you bought that album?
Maybe like 9.
And were you into music before? I mean, playing
yeah,
music?
I'm sure. I listened to a lot of just pop music and kind of everything, you know.
And what were the certain genres that you liked more?
I was all over the place. I listened to a lot of Eminem, and I listened to Bruno Mars, Justin Bieber, Shania Twain, you know, Led Zeppelin. It was all over the place.
And what was the first instrument you played yourself?
Guitar. Well, piano was the first that I got, but I learned guitar before piano.
And why piano at first?
I just wanted to be able to play it, and then I got one, and I never played it, and then I got a guitar, and I played the guitar, and then I started learning piano about a year ago.
And what did you like about the guitar at first? And what?
It looked cooler, and I thought it sounded cooler, and it was easier for me to understand at first. And I just I liked Ed Sheeran a lot, and I wanted to be like him.
And you said it was easier to understand. Can you explain a bit more?
It just, for some reason, made more sense. A lot of people would disagree that piano makes more sense, but it felt, probably because I was more excited to learn guitar over piano, it made more sense, but I don't know.
And well, you said you liked Ed Sheeran. What was the first song you could play by him?
The A-Team was actually the first song I ever learned on guitar.
Okay. And is it a hard song?
No, I mean it's pretty hard. It was hard back then, but it's pretty simple now.
Yeah. And when did you actually start writing your own material?
I started writing maybe about 3 years ago.
And was there any specific moment why you did it?
I said to my dad that I want to be a singer, and he said, you can't be a singer unless you can write your own songs. And I said, okay, fine, I'll write my own songs. So I went up to my room and I wrote a song.
And what song was it?
It's never released. It's called My Time. No one's ever heard it.
But is it? Can you, if you listen to your songs now and you listen back to that first song?
Much better now.
Yeah, but does it have any maybe things that you still do now? Or?
A little bit, yeah. Your style's going to stay with you for your whole life, I think.
Yeah, and well, it's been 2 albums in 2 years. Those songs, I looked up who wrote those songs, but many songs were written by yourself.
Yeah.
Were these songs, I mean the first album was released April 2015.
Yeah, so we had it was very fast. I just started songwriting and we had 5 months, and so I wrote as many songs as I could for my first time ever, but a lot of people had to write them for me because we didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
At Illuminate, I wrote every single song with somebody.
But that first album, how when you started recording for that album, how long did you write your own songs?
It was like we wrote. What do you mean? How long did it take me to write?
No, I mean you wrote your first song 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You said. And when did you start writing for that first album? How long were you into songwriting?
About 5 months before the album.
5 months.
Yeah.
And it must have been a crash course in songwriting.
It was a crash course in songwriting. Yeah.
And what did you learn from certain people, and what did you learn by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I got to work with some really awesome writers, and we just found that the best songs were the ones that were very true to ourselves and very honest and real.
And
the ones that wrote the fastest were always the best.
And the lyrics, do you write them yourself? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
I write all the lyrics. Yeah.
And is it hard for you?
Some days I can't write a song, and some days I can write 3 songs. You know, but I think I feel very natural about it.
And where do you get your inspiration? Is it?
It comes out of nowhere, just like experiences in life and friends and family. You know.
And for example, Treat You Better. What triggered that song?
I don't know. We were singing and playing guitar, and I must have said better. I screamed out better than he can, and then we kind of just wrote off of that, and you know, it came out of nowhere.
But is it something that you maybe experienced yourself, or maybe someone else you knew experienced, or is it just something that you just?
Yeah, I know people who's experienced that, and I've kind of experienced that, but it was more just kind of pulled out of thin air in a story, you know.
Yeah. The album is called Illuminate.
Yeah.
When during the recording of this album did you came up with this?
Close to the end. Took a long time to come up with a name for it.
Well, how come? What?
We just wanted to make sure it was a good name, and we found Illuminate kind of, you know, for music, when people are in dark times, it feels like music is something that pulls you out of that, and that's kind of shedding light, illuminate, and shed light on people.
As for you, do you feel that we live in dark times now?
I think, yeah, there's a lot of, you know, bad stuff happening, but I think there was always bad stuff happening. It was just a lot harder to see.
What do you mean by that?
I just think with social media nowadays, like, it's a lot easier to see what's happening in the world. But it is crazy. But there's a lot of beautiful and very good stuff happening too.
And what does music do for you?
Everything. I think music is the thing I go to when I'm tired, when I'm stressed, when I'm happy, nervous, sad. It does, you know, it does everything.
How is your life now? It must have been a crazy ride since 1.5 years.
It's very fun. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a hard work, and you work a lot of hours, and you're away from home. But it's very fun. I get to do very good things. Like, I get to go perform on stage in front of 14,000 people in a couple hours.
Yeah. Where did you, no problem. I think your songs are they are catchy songs. What sort of people do you listen to yourself that you think, well, that's something that I would like to achieve?
A lot of John Mayer. I listen to a lot of John Mayer, Ed Sheeran, like I said before, and really those two. And I listen, you know, I kind of just move around a lot and listen to what's popular, but also kind of go old school, and I'll just dig deep into. I like soulful music, so that stuff.
Yeah. And why? What does soulful music do?
I just think you really feel it.
And is it? Do you, when you started singing, when did you know that you actually had a good singing voice?
About halfway through the first album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first half of the album,
I didn't think I was that good at singing, no. But I actually started really getting good at singing this album, Illuminate.
And how come? Because of experience now? Or
Yeah,
experience. Or did you do something differently, maybe?
It just takes time to learn. It's like a muscle; it grows, you know.
Next album next year?
Hopefully.
It's been, I think so. Maybe wait a few years, but
yeah.
Well, the songs that you wrote for this album, are there certain themes for you on this album when you?
It was kind of just go with what your heart tells you. You know, we didn't think about it too much, and I think that's why it came out very nice.
And it's a song for are there maybe when often when people write albums, there are certain key songs on the album. Were there for you also certain key songs that you knew, well, this is the way the album has to go?
I think like Ruin, Mercy, Bad Reputation, 3 Empty Words are all kind of good expressions of the album.
And well, Ruin is the opening track. Can you explain, or can you say what triggered that song?
Maybe? A lot of John Mayer influence, and it was like 3 a.m. one night, and we wrote it in like an hour and a half, and we demoed it, and just it was very a song that we just felt in the moment and just sang.
And what were those also 3 Empty Words? 3
Empty Words is a pretty personal song about, you know, a relationship with the girl I had, and I think it's beautiful lyrically.
And is it hard to write about those personal experiences?
No, I like to.
Has she heard the song?
I'm sure.
Is it something that do you hold back when you?
No, because I think if I held back, then it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think? Because you're, let me count. You're 80 now.
Mm-hmm.
2 albums, 18 years old. What are your thoughts about the music industry, business? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What?
I just want to make good music. It's simple. It's more simple than people make it out to be. I think I just want to make great music, and I want to be happy, and I want the people who support me to be happy, and that's pretty much it. I want to have a long career, and I don't want to think about it too much because then it will get ruined.
And you said good music. Are there certain artists that have a long career that you say, well, that's an artist that
Ed Sheeran, and I guess older artists that you look up to, like Frank Sinatra type of artists. They had very great careers.
And what songs for you do stand the test of time? Songs
I think
by
like
others?
Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. I think that song's going to be timeless. On my album, I hope like Ruin stands out for years to come.
And well, you've also written now two hit songs. What are the best responses you had for those songs?
Mercy got a great response. They're all great.
No, maybe something, a personal account by someone who said, well, they did a song for me. Or
I'm not sorry. I'm not sure what you mean.
well, sometimes people say, well, there was a girl who came up to me, or maybe an elderly woman, and she said, well, I was really going through a bad time.
Right. I hear that, about my, like I have a song called A Little Too Much throughout the countries I go to. Lots of girls talk about how and lots of guys talk about how that's helped them through a rough time, which is great.
And is it, well, you get many response from female fans. Is it something do you like it?
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
And do you think, well, maybe it's also good for me to, they must hear my music and they must see what I can do lyrically and music-wise, is it?
Mm-hmm. I think it's all great. I don't really know what to say much about it. It's hard to talk about, I could say it's amazing, it's great, it's beautiful, and that's really all it is,
Okay. Is it hard for you? How often have you been back at home?
I go home about every 3 to 4 weeks, so often enough, but I'm away a lot.
And how do you stay focused?
Just them, the girls outside, they keep me inspired and focused.
Yeah. And is it for you, do you write on a daily basis?
No. I write when I'm not touring or when I'm not working and I'm off and I'm home or I'm away with some writers and stuff.
And because I saw for this album you wrote with, correct me if I'm wrong, Harris?
Scott Harris. Yeah.
Scott Harris. Why for this album you chose to work with him a lot?
He wrote with me on the first album too. All the writers from this album were all the same ones from the first album, and we kind of they know me very well, and we just grew together,
But I thought there was maybe on this album, maybe I'm wrong, but there are more collaborations with him than maybe with others?
Yeah, I work with Scott very well. We connect very good, and he pretty much wrote every song with me.
And how do you work together? Can you explain a bit more?
It's just like a friend relationship, sitting down with your friend and writing a song.
Okay. Last question. What do you want? When is this album for you a success?
When I come and do a show and the fans know all the words.
That's it.
I just want the people who support me and people who listen to music and love music to enjoy the songs and to love it. The sales doesn't matter, the streams don't matter. It's just about if what I created, is going to last and people are really, it's going to help people, and give them something to be happy about, to be sad about, to feel,
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.